Have you ever just wished for a cosmic safety net? Some kind of guarantee that things will be taken care of? Well, it turns out, deep within the ancient wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, there's a promise, one of the most profound ones ever made. And today, we're going to unpack exactly what this divine guarantee is all about.
So here it is, verse 9.22. It says that for certain people, God will personally provide for their needs and protect what they already possess. Wow. I mean, that's a pretty powerful statement, right? But, and this is a big but, it is not a blank check.
So does this apply to anyone who just believes? Is it a universal promise? Well, not exactly, and that's where it gets really interesting. The real questions we need to ask are, who is this for? Why does this promise even exist? And you guessed it, what are the terms and conditions? Let's dive in and break it all down.
All right, first things first. We have to get our heads around the why. What's the logic behind a promise like this? It turns out there are two really specific, really powerful reasons for this whole divine support system to exist.
So, this promise is actually doing two things at once, which is fascinating. On one side, it's super personal. It's all about helping one individual on their spiritual journey. But on the other side, it's for the greater good. It's about making sure that spiritual guides are around to help everyone in society. To really get this, let's look at a couple of great analogies.
Okay, so for the first reason, picture a brilliant research scholar, right? They're on the verge of a huge breakthrough. To make sure they can focus completely on that work, what happens? They get a stipend. It covers their rent, their food, all the basic stuff. Why? So they don't have to waste time and energy worrying about a day job. They can pour everything into their research. Well, this promise works in the exact same way for a dedicated spiritual seeker.
And for that second reason, the one about society, think about why a government might pour money into preserving art and culture. It's not just for today, right? It's to protect that heritage for future generations. It's the same idea here. God supports these individuals because they become a source of guidance for the rest of us. I mean, if they were left to struggle and couldn't survive, all that incredible wisdom could just disappear. It would be a huge loss for everyone.
All right, so now we get the why. We understand the rationale, but that brings us to the next massive question. Who? Who exactly qualifies for this? The answer is super specific. It's for the single-minded seeker. And this idea of single-mindedness is absolutely key. Look, most of us, our lives are a juggle. We want a better job, we want good health, a happy family, and those are all great, valid goals. But the person this promise is for, they've taken all of those goals and basically funneled them into one single ultimate destination. Every single thing they do, eating, sleeping, working, it's all done in service of that one spiritual goal.
This train analogy makes it so clear. Imagine your only goal for the morning is to catch the 7 a.m. train. That's it. So when you wake up and brush your teeth, are you just brushing your teeth for good hygiene? No, you're brushing your teeth so you can catch the train. When you grab that coffee, it's not just for the taste, it's to wake you up so you can catch the train. See? Every single supporting action points to that one ultimate goal. That's the kind of laser focus we're talking about.
Okay, so now it's time for the fine print. And you better believe there's fine print. This is not, and I repeat, not a loophole to get out of life's responsibilities. There are some really clear, totally non-negotiable qualifications you have to meet.
And let's be crystal clear here. This is not for anyone who is lazy. It's not for someone who is incapable. The person this applies to has to be fully capable of earning a living, of supporting themselves, of taking care of their family, and they have to be willing to do it. The choice to go down this spiritual path isn't an excuse to dodge responsibility. It's a conscious decision to redirect all that capability towards a higher purpose.
This really lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at the two columns. On one side, you've got the eligible seeker. They're capable, they're willing, and they've consciously decided to redirect their focus to God. Their goal is singular. On the other side, you might have someone who's lazy or incapable, hoping that God will just swoop in and fix their material problems. Or someone who still has a bunch of worldly goals. The promise is only for the person on the left. The distinction is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, there's no ambiguity here at all. This support is not for people who are lazy. You have to have the capability and the willingness to shoulder responsibility. This is a path for the strong, for the capable, for people who choose a different definition of what success means, not for anyone looking for an easy way out.
Okay, so we've covered the why this promise exists. We've covered the who it's for. And we've covered the qualifications, but there is one last piece, a final, absolutely essential ingredient. And honestly, without this one thing,
none of the rest of it even matters.
Trust. That's it. It's so simple, but it's also incredibly profound. The entire mechanism, the whole guarantee, it all hinges on this one thing.
You see, a seeker has to have complete, 100% unwavering faith in these words. If there's any doubt, even a little hesitation, the connection just breaks. It's that complete trust that acts as the catalyst. It's what turns the key and activates the whole guarantee. It really is the final piece of the puzzle.
So where does that leave us? Let's wrap this all up. What we've seen is that this incredible verse from the Gita, it's not a free pass. It's not some cosmic lottery ticket you can cash in. It's something way more specific and way more meaningful. What it is a highly focused, specialized support system. It's for the person who is capable, who consciously and deliberately chooses to dedicate their entire life to one single spiritual goal. And they do it with complete trust that their basic needs will be taken care of so they can keep pursuing that goal, not just for themselves, but for the good of everyone.
And that really leaves us with a big question to think about, doesn't it? In our world today, where we're pulled in a million different directions with so many goals, what would a truly single-minded life even look like for you? Something to ponder. Thanks so much for joining me.